The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
The Council wants you to report on all the Chancellor's dealings.
That's treason.
We are at war, Anakin.
Very dangerous putting them together. I don't think the boy can handle it. I don't trust him.
And welcome back to Spitball Cinema. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm David.
And with us today is
Stacy.
Yeah.
Stacy. Excellent. Yeah. And in front of Stacy's here, that means we gotta be talking some Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
It is Revenge of the Sith time.
We're wrapping up the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Dave?
It's not Slytherin, weirdo. It's like
And that come out in 2005.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Why are you looking at me like that, Shane?
2005.
Yeah,
It's like a long time ago, and then again, not
I know.
compared to everything else. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like, geez.
Isn't that the movie?
11 years ago.
I know.
Is that the
That's
one where
crazy.
we had the Star Wars party at our house and someone brought that life-size Han Solo?
Yeah, it was a.
Well, it was Yoda.
Oh, Yoda
Yeah,
and
oh,
Arch.
no.
Yeah, it was Halvin. We had the
Halfin,
Yoda.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah,
Well, because we had a couple different
but this one was big
kind of Star Wars theme parties before. Yeah, well, we had like
because it was the Sith.
themed food and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we were hoping that we were going to see like.
Boy, he would have
Anakin.
been good doing these kind of things, these podcasts and stuff.
Potentially.
Halfling, you know,
Yeah,
think about it. He passed away.
yeah. R.I.P.
Oh.
Chris. He was a cool
Yeah.
dude. Very into
He
Star Wars
Loved movies.
and loved movies. Yeah.
So
He knew a lot.
I think for me, out of the prequels, this one is my favorite. I know a lot of people like, what was the clone
Clone
Attack of the
Wars.
Clones as the
Yeah,
favorite of the
technically,
prequel, but this one was mine, and I think it's because, my son was young, and he was. We went and saw this movie at the movie theater when it came out, and we were so excited to see it. And as we're watching the movie, and I'm skipping, I'm not gonna give
Oh
detail
yeah,
yet, but
everybody's seen it.
the very
Oh,
end.
what spoilers from
Yeah, right.
from the 21-year-old
Yeah, spoilers.
about that too much.
We got to all the way to the end where Obi-Wan is telling Padme, what has happened,
Yeah,
and the sound completely goes out of the movie.
Oh no!
Oh no!
We lost that whole scene.
I said it was 11 years ago. It's 21 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we lost that whole scene, the whole dialogue.
Oh, man.
Everybody in the theater started throwing popcorn containers. My son we were so mad. And so after eventually the sound came on, but we lost all that dialogue. So the movie theater gave us all free passes. So the next week, we went to go see it, and so we went and saw it. We knew it was going to happen, but we were excited because it's the first time we could hear the dialogue of what we had lost. And for 3 to 4 weeks after that, we went every week and saw Revenge of the Sith. We went and saw it every week. And so, like my ex-husband and my daughter, they went to go see some other movie, and we were going to go see that movie. But then Matthew and I was like, let's go see Revenge of the Sith again. So
I think I saw it about 5 times.
yeah, I mean, we just went religiously, and it was just,
That's so cool.
it's my favorite.
I
It's
thought it was
absolute
very
favorite.
well. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. And there's that part of you, I think, watching it because especially little kids too, looking at my son's eyes, Anakin was his favorite
Yeah.
as a little kid. With us when we were kids, we loved Luke and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Well, as him, Anakin was his favorite, and you knew that Anakin is eventually going to turn and be Darth Vader, but when watching this movie, you're just like, don't do it. No, 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 no. And so I knew it was coming, but I thought it was just really, really well. It's my favorite.
It's story wise, it they do a better job of building up the friendship between Obi-Wan and Anakin than they did in the first film because the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
or not the first film, excuse me,
The second one.
yeah, Clone
Hmm.
Wars, because they're like arguing from the beginning.
Hmm.
And in this one, you just got that banter back and
The
forth
comical.
as they're doing everything, and they're working as a team, and you can see how it was more of that actual relationship. So
Hmm.
so yeah, when later on when everything flips, it's
Well,
kind of brutal.
just from the beginning of the movie, when the Star Wars theme plays and the words go
Yeah,
up on the
big
screen,
crawl.
and then you see the two ships flying in sync, you
That was
know
awesome.
immediately
Oh
who it is.
yeah,
You
and
know.
that space battle
Oh,
Beautiful.
was
it was
insane.
and loud in the theater and like
Loud and
just so much going
colorful, and
on.
you could see Coruscant down below. So the
Yeah.
whole planet's lit up. It is just you were just like, whoa. And I remember being in the theater, and it was almost like 3D. It wasn't,
Yeah.
but you could just see the different ships flying at different
Hmm.
altitudes, and the gun batteries firing back and forth, and here's these little ships dodging in between. And I'm just like,
And the
oh,
buzz
that's so cool.
droids. You
The
remember the
buzz droids
buzz
were
droids?
really creative.
Oh
It's a
wait, are those the
creative
things that
weapon.
were like
Crawling around on his ship.
ship?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
I got
missiles
you.
explode, and it just like puts a bunch of mean spirited like
They're
gremlins onto your ship.
they were.
Yeah.
But again, in that scene, we've always talked about Obi-Wan and his dedication and his the buzz droids and got a hold of his ship and his cabin was fogging up and Anakin comes to his rescue and he's like, "Forget me, forget the mission, the
Yeah.
Chancellor, do your mission." He was Obi-Wan's always about the mission, no matter what.
Well, I think um, Anakin at one point was going to go help somebody else, and then
Yeah,
Obi
Well,
Wan's
he
like, "No, don't
tried to
stay."
try to peel off to help some of the
Clones.
yeah.
That's what it was.
clone
Yeah.
pilots.
He says they have a job to do. Just let them. Yeah.
Now, one thing that's really interesting because you have the Clone Wars animated series, but you also had a Clone Wars um, series that was all the kind of the flat two dimensional animation style with a bunch of shorts, and it really didn't have hardly any dialogue in it at all. But it showed um, Palpatine getting kidnapped
Oh.
Oh,
because
okay.
he was under the protection of two Jedi, and they're trying to smuggle him out, and they're being hunted by Grievous, and Grievous actually hunts them down, takes out all the clone troopers, takes out the two uh, Jedi that are guarding him, and captures him and gets away. And like Mace Windu and the rest of them are trying to stop him, but it was really really good.
Oh.
Uh,
What's with some of these Jedi's? They're like weak. I mean, if they're not in the main little, I mean, they just get
They're
taken
not in the
out.
main clique.
But I mean,
well, they
I
got
mean,
they got red shirts underneath their robes.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like God Almighty, what are they teaching you guys?
Well,
I will say it's really interesting because they do a great job in those particular short films because it actually shows Grievous like stalking and killing a group of Jedi,
Mm.
and he uses fear tactics to get the younger ones to kind of break. And he's studied under Dooku, who's considered one of the best
So he gets
duelists.
in their head.
Gets in their head, does different things to them. In fact, it was kind of funny because in the thing, his voice was normal until Mace Windu goes after him and like crushes, does a little force thing, like
oh,
crushes part of his thing, and then all of a
interesting.
sudden he's like, and he can barely breathe, and he does all the wheezing. Although I know
Oh.
that's not what it was supposed to be because it's supposed to be reminiscent of Vader, but.
Oh, I thought it was he was smoking too much.
Well, you would know that. But yeah, so anyway, just that little nugget of information because it's they set it up very much like a serial, like Lucas really wanted to, so this is just like
Hmm.
this is what's happened, and bam, here we go, we start the film. But it was a really cool little animated short
Interesting.
Yeah,
that
because
shows him getting kidnapped, and they're fighting on these bullet trains through Coruscant, and him fighting the different
Lucas was
Jedi.
big on those serial
Yeah,
30 serial shorts and stuff that he saw
Yeah,
when he
even
was
some
a
of the
kid.
just the radio programs and
And
things.
Flash Gordon and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
the Shadow.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
I
yeah.
think that scene of them trying to rescue Palpatine, I just thought in my head there was a little bit of foreshadowing of what was to come because when Obi-Wan and Anakin go in the elevator and the elevator stops and Anakin jumps up to
To the
try to
hole.
fix it
Yeah.
and then comes back down and Obi-Wan grabs his lightsaber and he's kind of pointing it towards Anakin. I thought that was foreshadowing, kind of showing what's going to happen later on. If you watch that
I
scene,
never even thought about
I
that.
didn't
yeah,
think about that.
if you watch that
That's
scene,
what I'm talking about. Dooku getting his hands cut off because.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
because people, I think even parents back then were worried because the movie was rated PG-13.
yeah.
Right.
Well, you
And
know
then, like you
why?
said, like when he cuts off his hands and then his head.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was pretty.
no, I
That
mean,
was pretty
I don't think
alarming.
they would even dare show something like that in the originals, right back then.
Not necessarily to that
They cut off
an
the arm
arm,
of
but
the one guy in the
yeah.
cantina.
Yeah, in the
And then,
cantina.
I think they
And
had
it showed a little
to.
bit of blood too, didn't
They
it?
did. It
yeah,
did.
originally. Yeah.
Well, I think they had to.
And you had
They had to cut.
Harrison Ford shooting that guy first,
Guido.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they had to kind of show with that happening with Dooku was,
Yeah, they had
the
to.
conflict, the manipulation that Palpatine was starting to do with Anakin.
Damn it.
And yeah. And so I think they had to do that. So that's why they did PG-13. But I also think it was PG-13 because of the end as well. But
Let me ask you guys this. Are you glad about how they went that route of the Emperor messing with Anakin's mind, saying you can save your wife if you come to the dark side? Or were you thinking like maybe he was just born bad? And then maybe
But he wasn't really considered born bad, though. He was supposed to be the one who brought the Force,
the balance of the Force.
balance of the
the
Force.
chosen one.
So
I
I
kind of.
think that's the way they had to go.
Because
Yeah.
we never knew who the
Because
dad was.
Right. Well, that's the mythology of it,
Yeah. And there's.
Do you have any kind of insight about maybe who or was it a virginal birth?
Didn't we talk about this in the other one?
Yeah,
I
we
thought
did,
we did.
because it was supposed to be Plagueis. That was
Yeah.
originally
Right.
the one that kind of orchestrated all that. But with Anakin and Palpatine, it's like his mother getting kidnapped was supposedly at the direction of Palpatine, who made that happen. So he was doing things and manipulating things
All along. Yeah.
Okay.
And it never, but it's also filler story, so you almost got to look at the movie on its own, because if you don't have that insight, then as far as he's just kind of whispering little things in his ear and trying to, convince him to do other things. So, but they do a good job in this more so than in the Clone Wars, because here he's more, oh, well, they probably sent you to spy on me, didn't they? And just, like making him that confidant, constantly being the voice of, reason as far as Anakin's concerned.
And he's constantly telling Anakin, that they don't trust you, Anakin. They don't.
Yeah.
There's always trying to put that little seed of doubt in Anakin's.
Well, they're
mind.
afraid of you because you're the chosen one, and they know that you're better
So
than them,
so he's trying to.
Well, Anakin's dad was a king of the Sand People.
What is he talking about?
Anakin's dad was the king of the Sand People. That's why they kidnapped the mother later on, and kidnapped her. And that's why when that guy goes, when he was a kid.
How does it go? How does it go?
The video for that.
That was absolutely terrifying.
Your face was kind of
That was very terrifying.
That was good.
Sick.
Little kids are going to be listening to this. Stop it.
Well,
It's not for kids, not for kids.
so I think the manipulation thing, I think they did play that well throughout this movie.
Yes, he was always seems like he was always fighting the Jedi Council, but he was very up to like about to say screw the Jedi Council. I'm gonna stick with you, meaning
Yeah.
Well,
Emperor.
it was a power thing. Anakin wanted more power. He wanted, and Palpatine was giving him that little pieces of manipulation and power.
I don't think Anakin knew what he
Well,
he just had a. I know what he wanted. He was all jacked up over Padme. That's the only thing he
yeah.
was thinking.
Well,
And then that's why Palpatine was able to get in his head and turn and start gradually turn. He knew,
it's true, but
yeah,
I think he enjoyed the power of it too.
Yeah.
He that
Well,
aspect.
Eventually, yeah.
But Padme, we need to back up a little bit because we find out in this movie right from the get go that Padme is pregnant, which shocked Anakin.
yeah, he shocked Anakin because he'd been out of town for a while, and Obi-Wan was the only one in there hanging around.
Next
That's a
on,
whole different story.
yeah, next on Jerry Springer.
He withdrew his lightsaber.
Wow.
But yeah, it's one of those things where
Sith Lord is my specialty. Is my specialty.
Mm.
so sad too because Christopher Lee is classically trained, stage fencer.
Yeah.
And so he's
Mhm.
out there doing all this stuff, and Obi-Wan just gets punked again,
Right
off the bat. Right off
Well,
the
wait a
bat.
minute.
It's so cool to
Stacy
see them
pointed
going
that
at it.
out. What does he say? Obi-Wan say?
Sith Lords are my specialty.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And then
And then okay, 5 seconds later, there you go.
yeah,
He's
you're
just,
on.
he's just chucking them across the.
I wish they
How's
would.
that look,
I
Obi-Wan?
kind of wish they would have kept Dooku around a little bit longer.
He was a cool
And,
character.
He was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. If you do watch, and I hate going back and talking animated series, but he's a major player in the Clone Wars animated
Yeah.
series, and you see him like really doing a lot, and
Right.
he's really good. Because one of the things that I love about Dooku's character is he doesn't lie. He's pretty straightforward with everything that he tells people. He's not conniving. He's telling you the truth.
It would have been neat to see him and Mace Windu go into a more of a big battle
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
between.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? Do
That
they
would
do
be
that in the?
sick.
Do they do that in the Clone Wars?
Not that I can recall.
But that would have been to have Sam Jackson and
Christopher
Dooku.
Lee.
Yeah, Christopher
Yeah,
Lee
that
do
would
a
that
big
that
battle
been
scene. That would have
that would
been
have been really nice. That would have been
because we really didn't see Mace Windu. Do
not
any,
really
I mean, we did in Attack of the Clones. He was out there fighting with all those, but an actual one-on-one
like
battle.
like a lightsaber
Mhm.
Well,
duel
at the
thing.
end
Yeah.
when he's fighting Palpatine,
Mhm.
at the end of the film, or towards the end of the film, it's really a well choreographed fight scene.
Right.
I mean,
Mhm.
when they're going at it, because
And Mace Windu would have killed him. He was going.
Mace Windu won. I mean,
Yeah.
he had him down.
Yeah,
He did.
So,
he was going to end it all.
yeah.
But
So going back, with Padme being pregnant, that's kind of this whole thing where this whole thing started because Anakin had a dream, and whenever Anakin has these dream/premonitions of what's coming, he sees her
In pain.
dying
Yeah.
basically in childbirth. So he's trying to do whatever he can to figure out how to keep her from dying like his mother.
Yeah.
And he wanted to keep her
and he ends
alive.
up contributing to
Right.
It's that self fulfilling prophecy.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
plus he probably was like, I got a family unit, and I'm gonna do anything I can do to keep that because I didn't really have that growing up.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose her and he says it, I won't lose you like I lost my mother, so
Yeah. He
and I
does.
think Palpatine knew that, and that's part of that manipulation, with her, and I loved that scene in the opera scene
Oh,
That was
That was cool to look
beautiful.
at.
It was
It had that
so
cool music,
cool.
that
That big bubble and oh, and I forgot to say,
That's
and
like Eyes Wide Shut.
yeah, yeah.
in this movie, George Lucas is in this movie. Him and
Yeah.
his daughter are in
Really?
this
Mhm.
in this movie.
Well,
They do a cameo. So when Obi-Wan and Anakin rescue Palpatine
mhm.
and they come back to Coruscant and there's all the people behind them and guys in big blue faces and
Yeah.
that's
George
George
Lucas.
Lucas's daughter. And then when they go to the opera, what we're talking about, there's a guy. He kind of reminds me of the Wizard of Oz, one of the guardsmen at the witch's castle.
Yeah, he does.
That's what he is. He's one of
That's
those. You
George
can
Lucas?
yes, George
No,
Lucas.
my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm going to watch that.
You killed her. So, but I love the opera scene.
It is
Yeah, well,
beautiful.
because that's key for piquing Anakin's curiosity
Yeah.
and getting go. But really, if you think about it, Yoda's the one that kind of drops the ball because Anakin goes to him and says, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having these dreams." Now he's not too upfront about his relationship and stuff, but Yoda's just like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to have attachments. What the hell? Don't worry about it."
Mm-hmm.
And so he's kind of dismissive as to Anakin's mental state at that
Yeah.
time. And you also have to think about it as the fact that Anakin's basically got PTSD. He's been fighting in these wars for years at this point. It's like many, many years of just non-stop, you know, combat. And so, he's having mental issues, he's having this trauma, and he's trying to talk to Yoda, and Yoda's like, well, yeah, just don't get attached. It's just kind of dismissive, and then basically after that, he's like, well, who can I talk to? Palpatine is the only one that listens.
Shane, Jedi don't have PSTD. They're
That's what I was
Jedi.
gonna say. What the hell are we doing?
PTSD.
Oh, no.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's my question.
Mm.
Palpatine figured out that Padme was Anakin's wife, that she was pregnant with his babies.
Mm.
So how did he know that, feel that, observe that, understand that, figure that out, but yet Yoda or none of the Jedi,
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan had that
Had the
instinct.
sense of it, maybe.
How did that happen? How did he
Well, doesn't Leota at one time say that the dark side can cloud, uh, make things difficult to see,
Yeah.
and kind
Or
of
judgment.
influence over the Jedi a little bit?
Yeah, but
Because it's a powerful.
Yeah, but Anakin's relationship with her wasn't a complete secret either because he's a senator. I'm sure he was hitting. I'm sure there were like you know the son or the whatever rags were probably like senator pregnant with Jedi's child. Who is this mystery
Well,
Jedi?
and Obi-Wan
Yeah.
knew that. I mean, from the second movie, that he
there
was
was an
he was
attachment issue, yeah.
Yeah, because
obsessed
he
with
was
her.
going to go after her, jump off the ship.
Yeah, he was obsessed with her,
And then she comes up pregnant. I mean, you think Obi-Wan would be like,
let's see, it's not C-3PO.
It's
It's not it wasn't me.
not that flying bug guy off of Tatooine.
At the dorms.
that is a good point.
Hanging around with her.
That's a good point because Obi-Wan and Padme had their own place.
But you know what though? They don't have much experience with women. The Jedi, they don't get into all this.
Oh
Feely,
man, they
feely
go to
stuff.
bars. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
but they don't have they don't
They cut people's hands off at
they,
bars.
they don't they don't have all this experience with emotions like that and stuff because they block it off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always found that really
I
kind of
think
intriguing.
it's like Scott said. It's him putting that big cloud, and you don't use your judgment as well as you.
Because he's a very powerful Sith Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very powerful.
Sith Lords are their speciality.
Yeah.
Well, that's like oof, because I watch all the cartoons. There was actually a deleted scene from one of the Clone Wars episodes because the 501st is Anakin Skywalker's like regiment of stormtroopers and clone troopers, and so at one point in time they painted a kind of like a World War II bomber girl kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
on the side of
Oh
one of the
no.
aircraft
Mm.
of Padme.
Oh.
And it was obviously her because they all knew because she's always around.
Around.
So they had put her on the ship, and he was just kind of like, might not be appropriate, guys. You know, I gotta get rid of that.
Yeah.
But then that was a deleted scene. They just cut that whole thing out. So I think that anybody with observation skills or a droid that could like boop, 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 float around and spy on people, it's probably fairly easy to keep tabs on one or the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to General Grievous though,
Okay.
because
Fun character.
I remember in that movie, when Obi-Wan goes to fight him in the movie theater. You know when Grievous, all of his four hands come out or whatever, and he has the
Yeah.
lightsaber, and
The
it's
little shoulder
hitting the ground, and
Mhm.
it's making that. God, do you remember how loud that was,
was
in the
loud.
theater?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh my
Sparks
God.
were shooting everywhere.
That was a
and-
great scene, and it's funny because it ended up Obi-Wan gets him with the blaster, and he was like so uncivilized,
Yeah.
drops that gun with disdain.
Yeah, I was like, ugh.
But I mean, the big quotable from that whole thing is when he first jumps down and he's like, well,
Hello there.
Yeah.
It's like good lord, how many times has that ever come up in just
Yeah.
random conversations? People going, hello there. And
Yeah.
it's just
Kind of like an homage to Alec Guinness coming through him.
Well, that's what it was. I mean,
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I said it.
I mean, said obvious.
But we were talking about this earlier. The last scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin when they're
before he goes off to
because Obi-Wan's off to go find Grievous.
to get Grievous.
Yeah, and so and Anakin's just really because of Palpatine's manipulations. He's frustrated with the Jedi Council. They won't. They let him on the council, but they won't grant him master.
Which actually wasn't unheard of.
And so that made Anakin mad, which he told Palpatine about it, and Palpatine's like, they don't trust you. But uh, you know that scene of them saying goodbye. I mean, the last time that they're going to be together as master and apprentice. It was sad. It was a good scene.
Is that the one where Mace Windu kind of checks Anakin, tells him, or was that in the second one? Where he says, "Have a seat."
No, it's that
no,
one.
Is that
Yeah.
that one? Yeah, yeah. Because
But
Mace Windu
Palpatine-
checks him.
Well, because
pretty hard,
Anakin,
because Anakin was getting
he smarted off with
disrespectful.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Palpatine, he tries to get Anakin to leave Obi-Wan behind in that rescue scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
beginning of
did.
the movie.
Hmm.
And so this time around, he's like, I don't need this guy's influence. I'm sending him on a mission on the other side of the galaxy, so Anakin
I can
doesn't
get to
have
him.
anybody
Mhm.
to talk to or confide in or to remind
To
him
guide,
not
to bring him
do
back.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I always thought when he cut off Dooku's head and hands, he basically murdered the guy, because Palpatine says, "Kill him, do it."
Too
Oh,
dangerous to live.
well, did Obi-Wan not know that he did that?
No, as
I-
far
because-
as he
because
knows, is that Dooku was defeated.
Because Obi-Wan was underneath that.
Yeah,
Thing
He
at
was
the time.
knocked out.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't know the detail of that. Just that maybe, Anakin defeated him, but he didn't know.
Right.
And that actually kind of sets up a similar scene because here's Anakin, and you can tell, after Palpatine's like, "Do it," he's too dangerous.
Mhm.
Do it, so he kills him. Well, later on, Mace Windu's got Palpatine down,
Right.
and
Basically the same thing.
And Anakin, yeah, it's the same situation, and Anakin's already like, "I didn't feel right doing that. Why are you doing that?" And so
Mhm.
it's kind of like he's like, "No, don't do it. That's not the Jedi way." And he's like, "He's too dangerous to leave alive." It's the same argument, So when he says that, the Jedi, when he's arguing with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's like, "Well, the Sith are evil," and he's like, "Well, the Jedi are evil." He's able to draw these moral
Mhm.
equivalencies because of his own, interactions with people.
No, really, let's talk about that. I'm with Scott on this, on the scene where Mace Windu comes to, Anakin realizes that he finds out that Palpatine is the Sith Lord that they've been looking for. He comes to that realization. But, you know, whenever I watch that, and Anakin's good because he goes and he tells Master Windu, hey, Palpatine, he's the Sith Lord we're looking for, and
A Sith
a
Lord.
Sith Lord. And he says, because Mace Windu has made it clear throughout this whole thing that he does not trust Anakin.
Oh yeah.
And he tells him, if what you say is true, you stay here. What you say is true. You'll regain my trust.
Mm-hmm.
And if Anakin would have just
Did
listened
that.
to Master Windu, but I thought that was a cool sadness in the scene because the film goes showing Anakin and he's torn because he knows if he lets Mace Windu go and kill Palpatine, his chances of saving Padme is gone. And then it shows Padme, she's looking out, and that creepy music,
Yeah,
that
that was
music.
actually
Oh,
a
yeah.
really good scene
That
because
was
both of them are just like intently staring off. It's like just waiting to find out what was
what
going to
is going
happen.
on because
Yeah.
because was that where Padme was seeing? No, she's pregnant and she's just looking out and she senses something's going on with Anakin. That music's creepy. That creeped me
Yeah,
out.
good
But
job
The
on
music
John
was
Williams for
excellent.
yeah, but
on that one. Yeah.
when, like what Scott was saying earlier with the weak Jedi, it's like when Mace Windu goes to confront Palpatine, he has like 3 Jedi with him. They're out
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. That's like
One just comes in. I mean, these are Jedi that you saw in the last movie.
Kicking
Yeah.
ass.
We in the arena.
But to their defense, this is Palpatine, though. I mean, he's very strong,
Yes, but
but he's not. The only one that could really stand it would be Mace Windu.
yeah, but these are not apprentice Jedi.
No, but
They're masters
but they're
too.
not on the same level.
I'll get that,
as
but I wish they
Palpatine.
would have let him hang in there a little.
A
I
little
think
bit
I
longer,
think
yeah.
I think part of what they didn't do well at because he goes right at him.
Mhm.
So there's not like it's not like him kind of trying to dip and dodge and weave. He goes right into the middle of them. And in a combat situation, if you step into the middle of a crowd, people can only swing so much.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hit whoever you want, but everybody else has to dodge and worry about the person next to them.
Hey Shane, this is a movie. Okay.
Yeah, it's a movie with laser swords. It's a movie with laser swords. But yeah,
Come
so
on, man, he was on a roll.
he comes in there, takes out 2 of them fast, and
Yojimbo'd him.
and then the third guy, and I feel bad because I can't remember his name. Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto.
Yeah,
The one with the tentacles.
with the
outside.
tentacles. Yeah,
And he actually hangs around for a little bit.
a little
before
bit.
he goes
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
And then it's just
yeah.
Palpatine and Mace Windu, and face it, that's who everybody wants to see anyway. So it's purple versus red.
What's the guy's name again? Tit Window?
Stowe.
Kit
Stowe.
Fisto.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If anything was going to appeal to you, it would be someone named Kit Fisto.
Yeah. Oh, that scene though when they were in that fight. Oh my gosh.
I wish it.
And it was like,
And it was
and
so
people are like, think Mace Windu could have survived that. There's debate and conversation
good.
about.
That's because they let so many stupid people live.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one for a Disney Star Wars
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
Um,
For sure.
But yeah, I'll tell you what,
Ugh.
when Mace Windu, because it's really interesting because nobody talks about it much, but Palpatine's fighting style is really weird. He kind of hunches over
He
and
does.
he pulls his lightsaber like all the way to like his chest and stomach,
Mhm.
and then he kind of explodes out from there. So he's got a weird
It's almost
technique that you're like, what's he? That's weird. What's he doing? But people forget that a lightsaber is basically just a big metal handle, and so the blade itself technically has no weight. And so when you're moving this thing around, you're able to do really, really quick, sharp moves from angles that you normally couldn't do with like a real weapon.
you
Huh.
I've always thought in that scene you can hear the demon coming out, the
Oh, yeah,
Sith.
snarly
But you remember he was
sound.
like,
Yeah.
Windu was like, "You are under arrest, my lord," and he goes, "No, no, no." You can hear that
Oh, yeah.
the Sith comes out, that the demonic
Yeah.
comes out, and then when you see how Palpatine, because in the old movies he had the
Yeah.
damaged face, the disfigurement. Well, this is where that came from, and man, that was something else. And that's the first
Oh,
time
yeah.
in the
Watching
pre
his face
like melt.
melt
But
and
this is the
crease.
first time, like in the prequels, that you see the Emperor and the lightning bolts. Like
Yeah.
he does that too. So
Dude, that part was creepy.
and then when Mace Windu's fighting him, and the part, because they're in front of that big huge window, and that lightsaber swings back and all the glass,
That was
and the
cool.
wind starts blowing.
And-
Oh, it's so cool.
that was so exciting.
Robes are all-
It was exciting. And then Anakin had to get in the ship and come and
Yeah.
Don't listen to a mannequin.
He's going crazy, like he's getting off on it or something.
Dude,
I'm moving.
PG-13.
You know what I mean? When he goes,
his eyes rolled back.
goes back.
Oh, that's when Anakin had to like get on his knees in front of him and like, I pledge for you.
So ultimately, Anakin, let's back
Okay.
up a little bit. So Anakin had to
Which
just
is okay. Sorry, folks. We had to go there.
It's almost like you've watched that scene a lot.
I see your schwanz is as big as mine.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up because I'll tell you my part.
Back it up.
So the female part.
Uh,
So when Anakin comes back, and him and Padme are in their penthouse, and he has the dream, and he gets up, I have to put a shout out to this part of the scene for
Oh.
the female audience, because when he gets out of bed and he puts his robe on,
he's all sweaty.
you can see for a split second the 6-pack abs on Anakin. My daughter and I
Yeah.
rewound that movie when we had it on video.
Yeah.
What true?
Several.
He had a body suit.
No, he really did have abs. No,
No,
he
had
actually
t-shirts
worked out.
that buy that have the
No,
No, it's funny you say that
Hayden
because
actually did
I
that.
noticed when Yoda was rolling out of his bed, I looked and I rewound it because he had some 6-packs
Had
on.
a big, had a big,
Green.
My daughter, that was like one of our
Big
favorite
green
parts of the
cucumber.
movie. I will say, Hayden Christensen got
He goes,
himself
Ooh,
ripped for that part.
Come on. I'm a rock star. Pick one he had.
Magnums I use.
Oh my gosh. Guys are disgusting.
Anything I can say, I will.
I haven't said much during this link. I love the third one. I thought it was probably the most epic looking of all three. First one was coming close, but like you said, that opening shot of the camera going, making you look like if you were like looking down on it, and all this stuff was happening, like when the big ship crashes into the city. My one problem about this movie is that there's not enough Vader time. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
You mean when he turns into Vader?
Exactly. They should have. I think they should have done that at maybe a fourth, maybe halfway, a little more than a halfway into the movie. I was looking to see him become Darth Vader and do some Darth Vader shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
And it wasn't. It
But it
was.
wasn't
I killed younglings.
But-
Younglings.
Yeah,
I
we haven't even
mean,
talked about that
I
part.
don't want to. I don't care about the 90210 bullshit.
you're talking about before he puts on the black, he gets
I want to
disfigured.
see him with, yeah. I mean,
Oh.
it's like they just spent too much
Well,
trying to close this stupid shit about politics. And I wanted to see him as, I mean, think about it. When we all went and saw Rogue One, that short clip at the end, when we get to see Vader in action, you
Yeah,
know,
but that's after he's been
I
disfigured.
think
He's already
Yeah.
a
Well,
machine.
part of it was, remember in the film when Obi-Wan accesses the
the
gets the
video,
surveillance
yeah,
cameras and you get the video. They shot a lot of scenes of Anakin fighting in the Jedi Temple, but they cut them
it
because
was too
it
violent.
was, well, not that necessarily it was too violent, but it was just the fact that it drug the time out, and they shortened it down, and they took that footage and they turned it into the hologram image that you
mhm.
get. That's just brief, kind of like they cut the and it may have been too violent too, kind of like they cut him killing all the sand people, and they just showed him killing two of
They
them.
should have showed
Mhm.
all of that. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Anakin, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
Oh
I
God,
wish I wish
they
he would have
should
just
That's
not
not what
cut.
he
They
said.
what did
shouldn't
he
have
say?
cut. They
He
shouldn't.
said, Master Skywalker, there's too many of
Oh,
them. What are we gonna do?
they should
And
have.
that lightsaber comes out. You're like, no.
It should.
But
and the
I wish
kid
they would. I
jumps.
wish they would.
yeah.
That's
I
the
wish they would have showed
is
him
the
and
part
lop
that
his little head off.
Well,
And
That's probably in
I'll
Spaceballs
tell you
too.
what.
But
For me, and I'm gonna speak for my son too. When he was little, and we watched this, the very first time I saw this, when Anakin is pledging his allegiance to Palpatine, and he's kneeling to him, and he calls him Lord Vader. And one part we haven't discussed is execute Order 66. So
yeah,
Palpatine's order for all the Jedi to be killed, and it goes and it shows you all around the galaxy how all the clone troopers turn on the Jedi and kill them. And that music again,
yeah,
the sad
great.
music. And then you see the scene where Anakin, this scene is incredible. Anakin's in his black robe,
hoodie.
his foreshadowing black robe instead of the Jedi brown robe, I guess. I think it was black. But anyways,
yeah.
It was.
when he's going up the Jedi temple stairs with all the clone troopers behind him going to kill the Jedi in the temple, and that marching music that they're playing,
Here.
I will tell you one thing. I'll never ever forget this. I had my hands over my face.
Oh,
No, I did. Just couldn't believe it. It was so dramatic.
see,
And I looked over at my son, and my son is bawling.
you know what? I would have slapped
No,
You
he
stop.
was he well, you gotta remember
Jedi.
you gotta remember this was his Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Stacy.
no, he was our Luke
Well, hey,
Skywalker.
go
Yeah,
on, man.
but
It
but,
was
you knew he was going to be.
the dramatics of it
One thing to know,
happening.
another thing to see it.
It is, especially when you're
Yeah. And I understand these.
6-year-old, 7-year-old little kid, little boy who
Yeah.
just loved Anakin, seeing that and that marching, it was just incredible.
I just think they needed. They just needed to. We needed to see more because the
Oh,
the quick shots and all that stuff, and then you see his eyes go all glowy in the dark.
too.
Thank you.
Too
That's
quick
what I
too.
meant. That's what I
I
meant.
mean, when all of a sudden he goes down to his knees and he's like, he turned to a Sith too quick after that deal with.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
but you got to
We've gone.
remember when he
We
went.
went 2 hours of fucking bullshit and then when it's just quit, like you said, they cut all the shots of him. Dude, make him look like he was the most evil man that we were told when we went and saw
And
A
he
New
never.
Hope.
To me, they never really showed him being the most powerful Jedi
Yeah.
like he could have been. I mean, I think that's one of the flaws of the movies too, because Anakin Skywalker, when Obi-Wan was describing him in the first Star Wars,
New Hope.
New Hope, was this badass.
I mean, you
guy.
got scared from hearing him tell the
I mean,
story.
this guy.
It made him even more scary when you saw him on screen.
Yeah, I think they needed him to be a little bit more.
But see, if I'm
Yeah.
going back and seeing the New Hope, I'm like, baby bitch.
I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah.
But what's the woman coming along? Jackson
Well, I mean, there was conflict.
Gotcha.
There was
Well, I'm with you on
conflict.
that. Yeah, I got you.
There was conflict in
Yeah.
Anakin when he was getting ready to go.
When he was a kid?
No. In this one, when he's looking out and he's got tears rolling down his cheek.
See,
You know.
Jedi shouldn't cry.
Well, but he's got this situation, that this manipulation and this Sith, the dark side of the Force has penetrated him.
All he had to do was go talk to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would have fixed it. If he would have just
Well,
went
that's why
That's true.
Palpatine arranged for
Kept them
Obi-Wan to be out. This was all
Mhm.
Palpatine in his plan.
Yeah.
So
Although, Dave, I do agree. I think if they would have been able to just tack on an extra 10 minutes to the film.
10 minutes is
Mhm.
all I'm asking.
But Lucas is real particular about his run times.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, because it's the maximum number of shows that you can get in a day.
Oh, so it's about money.
And so there's literally, he always shoots within like this particular window of time.
Does he know
Right.
that
And he does not go beyond that.
he could have done a 3-hour movie and all of us would not mind that?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
But it would
I think,
it would have cut down on the showtime stuff, like he's saying.
but I think, well, it's like you said, if we could have seen Anakin Skywalker go through there and clear out the temple,
Yes.
Yeah.
whoa.
It would,
Yeah.
it would make
that would
us.
That's true.
That'd be
It would have.
earth-shattering.
It would have made us crap our pants even more. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially that little librarian chick in the Clone Wars that got smart with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Joe Costa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's not in there, it's not in there.
Yeah,
He
be
should have
like,
went over to her.
thank you. Yeah. Or she'd be like, this
Against the wall with the Force.
Mr. Skywalker, where's that book that you need to return?
Now, just when you got when all that Order 66 stuff goes down and they're attacking the temple, that's when the guy that played Jar Jar Binks rescues Grogu and escapes Coruscant, was Order 66. So so Ahmed Best, who plays a Jedi, goes and rescues Grogu and takes off. So he escapes from the temple when Anakin's going through there and killing him.
Why didn't they show that?
Well, that's in The Mandalorian. He didn't exist at the time.
Well, I know that, but
Well, and let's have a shout out to George Lucas's son, who played the Jedi, the young Jedi.
is that really his son?
The one where
He jumps.
he starts
Senator Organa
the one
comes
that's
back.
trying to escape, and he's trying to get to Organa.
He's like the tween Jedi.
And he did a
Gotcha.
great job. And that scene,
That was cool.
that scene like got me.
Me
'cause
too.
I was like, oh, jeez,
that kid's badass, and then he gets
he gets shot
And
down.
Jimmy Smits is like, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And then he's like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's like,
Get out of here.
Jimmy
Well,
Smith.
that's
Punch
like,
it.
well, it's like when they're doing Order 66 and they're going through everything. Because I remember watching that, not at the time, but later on with my wife. Who was just, Kiadi Mundi, the one that, the conehead looking guy. He's out in front.
Because he's a master.
Yeah, he's out in front. He's fighting. He's protecting the people behind him. And he like stops and he's like, come on, let's go. And he's like, urging them forward. And they all just stop and they raise their guns at, and he just turns around and just this look on his face.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's like it's done. And he blocks the first few, but it's just too many.
Yeah.
And it gets him. And that's the one that actually affects my wife the most, because she's just like, he's out there leading and protecting them, and they turn on him.
And the other one, Ayla Secura, she's the one that has the weird looking. She's all green or whatever.
Yeah, she's the hot one.
Yeah. Okay, if you want to, okay.
Well, I mean, Jedi Master Hottie.
Okay.
Like showing her belly button and stuff.
Then
she she has like a half.
Yeah, she does.
Jedi.
Yeah, she does.
I noticed that.
So I think, but this movie, aside from all that, everybody that went to see this movie, they really wanted to see the Obi-Wan Anakin duel. I mean, that
Did not disappoint.
That scene where Padme, he's on Mustafar and she goes to find him and she's telling him, oh, because Obi-Wan goes and tells her, hey, Anakin's turned to the dark side, which is where I lost the sound in the movie at the beginning. I lost that whole dialogue.
Remember when her and Anakin are kind of having this little argument, and all of a sudden he looks up and Obi-Wan standing up there, and he goes, "You betray me! You betray me!"
No,
And remember that stance. Obi-Wan's just looking at him like, "What in the hell?"
Yeah, she doesn't know Obi-Wan's on the ship. He
Right.
he
Oh, I know that.
he
I know
stole
that.
away,
Yeah,
but
I know.
yeah, well, the audience.
But you know what? That's not to me. That wasn't the fight that I wanted to see. The fight I wanted to see was Yoda and Palpatine
Oh, yeah.
because that's the one you don't know exactly what goes down. And to
Right.
me, that one was just epic too. Now,
Well, it was going back between that one and Obi-Wan.
yeah,
That one and
yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Now
And it was
now
like,
the Anakin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that is much longer, more
oh,
choreographed and everything else.
sure.
But the whole thing with Yoda and Palpatine in the Senate,
That was
when they
awesome.
go back to the Senate and it's empty, and Yoda and him are fighting back and forth. Well, just the fact that Yoda walks in the door and just takes the two guards and goes,
Just goes,
bam,
Yeah.
and just,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh,
do you remember?
how's it going? And
Do you
it's like,
remember?
it's like, hey, you little asshole,
Do
you
you
taking
remember
over the
the
galaxy, huh? And it's like, oh,
the Family Guy? Remember Chris and Brian, or not Chris, Stewie and Brian are in a car and Brian's driving, and just out of the blue he says, Brian, he said, how come when Yoda came to kill the Emperor or to fight the Emperor, how come the Emperor was sitting at a desk? Like what does the Emperor need to be at the desk? They're like, oh, I can't right now, Yoda. I've got so much paperwork to do.
I've got an email.
And that was the funniest scene because then you start thinking about it. You're like, he's like, what kind of work is he doing where he needs to
Yeah,
be at his
there's
desk?
nobody in there
not
but
just
him.
that. No, yeah, you got the two guards, you got Palpatine, and you got the one blue guy from the Senate
Mhm.
chamber. And like as soon as Yoda comes in and knocks heads, this guy's like, "Peace out."
Bye.
He's like,
Yeah.
Peace out, Girl
This-
Scout.
yeah.
he gets the hell
Well,
out
and
of
that
town.
scene was crazy when the floor opened,
Oh yeah,
all the Senate seats, and they were
right. It's the middle spire that goes up where the speaker is,
yeah.
where the head of the Senate is, and then all those.
And the demon
they were
Palpatine came out. He was like, and he
Oh
was
yeah.
throwing
you're like
things at
this.
Yoda, and Yoda's jumping around, and it was
And
so
that one that
cool.
comes right at Yoda, and he uses the Force to push it
He's
back or
badass.
whatever.
Oh yeah. Well,
But the foreshadowing too on that too.
tries to do the lightning at Yoda, and Yoda like kind of
And you're
stops
like,
it and
oh
kind
no.
of braces
Mm.
it, and then
But
he
then
gets
he just
kicked off, and
and then Palpatine goes, hey.
God, you sound just like your brother.
But then, and another, kind of foreshadowing, I guess, then that scene is when they're fighting and Yoda's Jedi robe comes off and it hangs on that post and it kind of is like, okay, I'm hanging it up.
Yeah.
That was sad. I thought that was really sad.
Well, it was, and Yoda's just like, I lost, And
Yeah.
it's whether or not he lost or not, but he wasn't going to get another shot.
Yeah.
He was never going to be able to get that
Yeah.
close. And so at that point, he was done.
And the Obi-Wan Anakin fight and man, that part, the last of their fight, we're on that river of lava, and
Yeah. He says, I got
he's
the
like,
higher ground,
it's
dude.
over, Anakin. I've got the high ground, and you underestimate. That part when they're getting ready to fight, when they're circling, talk because Anakin's already put the chokehold on Padme. She's passed out, but you know that whole
She's not close
dialogue. Yeah, that dialogue between them two. I love that line, and that line kind of it resonates to today's world now, especially with social media and everything that's going on. Anakin says, "If you're not with me, then you're my enemy." And that's kind of reminds me of that today, especially in our political world. If you're not with me, you're my enemy. And Obi-Wan says, only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. And you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh man.
But that river of lava and the high ground, Obi-Wan had the high ground, and when Anakin He's
Oh.
cocky. Anakin's cocky. He thinks his new power is going to make him overtake it. And man, when he chops
Yeah.
his arm and both his legs off, that with Hayden, when Hayden did a great job, I
Yeah.
thought of that of burning, and he's crawling, and
He
then
did a great job of
Screaming.
burning.
burning. Yeah, yeah. Because like his face. Go back and look at his face when he
He's sitting there
the
going,
the pain.
Well, you know,
And then
that's
he
the
said,
whole thing.
"I hate you."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I would too. It's like, why don't you come over here and like put me out of my misery instead of just watching me burn?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like it's like you were my brother, Anakin. You're like, oh, well, go dispatch him. Like,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't just like say, you know, like your dog, and you had to put your dog down. You wouldn't just like spray a bunch of lighter fluid on your dog and then light him on fire and then
He
just
should
say,
have
"I
told.
loved you, Sparky."
Yeah.
That's not how it
He should have told Anakin back to see Padme.
oh, God.
Well, but that part where I mean the
Yeah,
part
the
where
birds were horrible, but
oh it was
the imagery is
awful
so
looking.
striking.
Oh,
Because I think
The fight
Obi
scene
Wan.
is amazing.
I don't know. I'm not saying he was in love with Padme, but he had a strong affection for her. I think.
I think he
That's like an older brother. Yeah.
Love with her. I'm saying he had a
he
very
cared
strong
about her. Yeah.
affection for her.
He's
Yeah.
like an older brother.
That part where
Yeah, yeah.
where Hayden screams, you know, the acting for
He
Hayden.
really liked her.
When he screams, "I hate you" to Obi-Wan, you can see the spit fly out of his mouth. I mean, it was just like the acting. I mean, people say whatever they want about Hayden, but I thought he did a good job. I thought he did a
He
good
did a
job.
better job in
Better
this
in
one
this
than the
movie.
last one.
A lot better, a lot more mature.
Yeah.
You know, Anakin was a little
Well,
bit more
they
mature,
didn't
and so was
direct those
Hayden.
love scenes right. I mean, they were too mushy. They should have been rewritten.
I don't think George
Cut
Lucas
out.
has a romantic bone in his
No,
body.
no.
That's
How
How
kind
about a cutout? Just like
I
that
think he knows how.
part, that whole scene of him like creepily watching her brush her hair when she's outside with the spaceships go flying by, and she's like got like that Victorian like curly haircut with a full brush. That could have been cut out, and we could have seen Vader kick some ass.
Yeah.
I kind of like that scene,
Or
honestly, because it was kind of sweet and romantic.
or what could have happened even better.
Stop. No.
They already have made that movie, sir.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you made that noise, though. Because we forgot that
We forgot about
The
what?
with the Wookiees,
Fucking
this is where
Chewie,
we
yeah.
see Chewbacca
Man,
in
Yeah.
this. You know, that's where, you know, Chewbacca, that's how the relationship.
I thought Chewbacca was in the second one too.
No.
no.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was just his Wookiee friends. Wasn't they?
The
Didn't
The
Yoda
Wookiees
jump up on, or was that
That's this one.
That's this
That's
one.
this
Yeah.
one.
That's this one. Although you saw Wookiees in the Senate and you saw the ET guy.
The
in
ET
the
guy.
Senate.
Yeah, yeah.
But this one you actually see the Wookiee home planet, which you'd never seen outside of the holiday special.
Right.
The
Yeah,
Star Wars
yeah.
holiday special. Oh, God,
Oh,
that's
well, nobody remembers that one, Shane.
Ooh.
That
Come on.
one didn't exist.
What was
I
that
remember-
called? Earth, or not Earth Day, but
Life Day.
Life Day. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that was the worst thing. I remember when that one came out, and I made my parents watch it because I was such a Star
Stop.
Wars
And you were like,
and my dad was just like, "Ooh." I mean, you can tell he's just getting like, he's like, I'm gonna turn this shit off, you know. And I'm just like, no, because
it's got to get better.
Luke's gonna be on here soon, you know. And it was just, oh, my poor dad.
You know what did you notice that when after the fight and he goes back to the ship with Padme when she's passing out, you know, she's not dead yet,
Hmm.
but
Mostly dead.
but Obi-Wan takes his hand and puts it on her face like that.
Yeah, because she
Yeah.
said Obi-Wan is Anakin all
And
right.
he kind of does this thing
Yeah,
on her
he did
face.
have affection for Padme. He cared about her. Like he friendship, I
I mean,
think.
he felt bad for her, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's pregnant and
Yeah.
but it's after that when Padme when they take her to the medical facility that you realize she's going to have twins.
Question: when did Obi-Wan find out she was pregnant? I'm kind of thinking, didn't they have like a conversation?
Well, he said he knows she's pregnant, but he says to her, "Anakin's the father, isn't he?"
That's what it is.
That's
Mhm.
before what is it? Does he go to look for?
He's looking
It's
for
when he comes
Anakin.
back
Yeah.
and he goes to her and he's like, "What the hell's going on?"
Has he
He's got that ship.
seen?
Well, he's looked at the hologram
He's looking
tapes.
for Anakin.
He's looking
Right.
for, and she
That's what
said,
it
"You're
was.
going to kill him, aren't you?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
what
know,
it was.
see,
'Cause
that's
what
what.
I like is when first time Obi-Wan goes and he goes to Yoda and he says, he's trying to figure all this out and he starts to go to look at the tapes and Yoda's telling him, "No, Obi-Wan,
Yeah,
you
Yoda
don't
was
you don't
like,
want to see
You don't want to
this.
see
You
it.
don't want
Yeah.
to see this because Yoda already knows, what's happened and he goes, you don't want to see
Yeah,
this,
okay,
Obi-Wan."
Yoda already knows this, but he doesn't know that Padme's pregnant with Anakin's twins, and come on,
Oh,
Yoda.
he's probably already
He's
seen
got other
that.
things to do.
He's got
Yeah.
things to do.
he's got to be, he's on the board for the annual Jedi picnic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she gives birth to Luke and Leia. And it was sad. It was sad, and she died right there. And she tells Obi-Wan before she dies, she said, "Obi-Wan, there's good in him. I know. There's still good, you know." She was right.
She was right.
She was right after took a long time, but that funeral was sad. The funeral scene and
Obi-Wan should have went, "Shh."
I thought it was a cool ending how they show
She goes home. They take her body back home.
God, it was sad.
it was
That
so
was
sad. And she has that amulet
Yeah.
necklace that he
Yeah,
gave
that
her.
was sad. She looked beautiful.
Yeah, she
And
did.
God, it's sad.
It's sad. And then yeah,
And
very
then
sad.
handing Luke over
To the Skywalker. Yeah.
and them, because they're the family, and
it was a good ending.
it was a great
It was a
ending.
good
Well,
show.
and her holding baby Luke, looking
Yeah.
up at the horizon, the moons, the suns, or whatever, and playing that music, that Star Wars
Who
theme
was the
music.
guy that played Uncle Peru? He's been
Uncle
in
Peru.
Uncle
or
Owen.
Uncle Owen. I'm sorry, that's Aunt Peru. Uncle Owen. He's been in movies before, right?
Likely.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I saw,
I thought it was that Joel Edgerton guy, but it's not.
do you know that, like, I don't know, the animal that Obi-Wan was riding on with baby Luke, and he had to, dip down, lay
Yeah.
down. I saw a great interview with Ewan McGregor when they were filming that scene. He was got a hold of some of his friends, or some of his friends were in town or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, you got to come to the set, Star Wars set, because I'm doing this big scene, this dramatic scene, and they were like, "Oh, I want to go, I want to go," So they went, they went, and he said, really, it was terrible, because he said they had me sitting on like a block, blocks, and I had to pretend like I was holding something, and then and so he said my buddies are watching it like, what is this?
Yeah, we want to fight, Jedi
You know,
fight.
and so, but then when they saw the movie, they're like, "Oh, okay,"
It is Joel Edgerton.
It is. That's what I
is it?
thought.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he looked familiar to me.
Yeah.
Well, whenever because I think Obi-Wan, when he rides up, I think he's on the same type of animal that um, Qui-Gon Jinn is on when he does that whole let's go thing, because he's like,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
do
you're
that.
right, you're
So
right.
it's a kind of a throwback to that.
That's true. That's
That
true.
made some weird noises, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the one that farted at Jar Jar.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
In Phantom Menace.
yeah.
It's like passive gas, and Jar Jar's like, here.
Yeah. I don't know.
This little Jar Jar in this movie, and it's probably the best of the three. So it makes you
Because he got so much backlash from the first one.
he got all.
Well, I like I said in the beginning, this was my favorite prequel. I think I enjoyed the fight scenes. The romantic stuff was not as bad as
Well,
Attack of the
it was more
Clones.
mature, more subdued, more. It was like they took a little bit more time with it,
Yeah.
not just rushed
Well,
it, and made it foo-foo.
And I also think for Hayden, Hayden had matured a little bit. His acting had matured a little bit. I don't know when he did Shattered Glass, that movie, if it was in between this or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's where he played the doctor, right?
No, he played the liar,
The
the
liar.
newspaper
That's it.
liar. But I think his acting had matured a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
because he did that
It's
movie.
gotta be.
What was that movie he did where
Jumper?
Jumper? Yeah, because
Yeah.
I liked him in Jumper.
I liked him in Jumper. So I think that going back to Attack of the Clones, that was like his breakout role. So I
I
thought
think the only movie he did before that, he was in a movie with Kevin Kline. Um, it was really disturbing. I don't want to say what he does in the movie for this episode, but
What the
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
don't tell us.
But I mean, you could tell that the guy can act. I mean,
Yeah.
dramatically, and now funny.
And I think that
But it was a good,
But see,
solid ending.
and
it
yeah,
was.
and
It
in going
was.
back to Hayden, when they first showed him come and do, because he avoided all those Comic
The
Cons, and
Obi-Wan.
he well, no, it's just when
Hayden.
he showed up. I think it was maybe just a couple years ago when he first showed up for to come out and do an interview with everybody at Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm.
He got the hugest pop.
And he
Everybody
got
stood up
emotional. He
and
was
he started
emotional. He
crying,
started,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, he started,
Dude, I mean, it was
yeah.
just he's like, we appreciate you more, and we're sorry for all the bad shit we said about
Yeah,
you.
that was an amazing. I saw that. That was
And
amazing.
then
It made me
when
choke
they
up.
Oh
come
yeah,
back and do the Obi-Wan series,
yeah, and
Disney,
he's in that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
when they weren't focused on the other crap and they focused on him and Obi, it's freaking good. When it was just focused on those two,
Yeah,
the scenes were really good, huh?
that whole thing was awful.
Well, I know, but the scenes between him and Vader, I thought were good.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Noob.
No,
I liked,
We'll save that for another episode.
really.
yeah.
Wow.
So I still haven't seen the Obi-Wan show. Well, wait,
It's a
no, I haven't seen it. That's the only one I
It
haven't seen.
was,
expansive.
I've seen clips of it, but I never sat down and watched all of it.
yeah, yeah,
I
that's
heard it's kind
another
of hard to get
discussion.
through. But yeah.
It's
Hey,
another
no more.
Disney. It's another
Hey,
Disney
for
thing.
our date timestamp, Kathleen Kennedy is out of the Star Wars
Bye.
universe. Bye, bitch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lord
Thank
and
you for
baby
ruining
Jesus.
it. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. But yeah, for the end of a trilogy, excellent movie,
Mhm.
epic in scale, epic in story. It had all these huge moments that kind of filled all those missing pieces that you wanted answered.
Hmm.
I mean, it really tied a lot of it in. You got
Hmm.
to see that whole transition of the government. So yeah, when you go into A New Hope, it really works out. And then I think we need to do
Rogue
Rogue
One,
One
yeah, definitely.
because that is a great little
Yeah.
transition over uh, to A New Hope as well. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as the original trilogy and then the prequel trilogy, excellent movies.
And it's
Get much
rewatchable.
better. Oh,
Like you can
definitely.
just
It
every
is.
time if it comes on, if I'm scrolling or whatever, I
Oh
will
yeah.
watch it. I'll just keep watching it, because
Oh, yeah.
even though I've seen it a zillion times, it's
Um,
still a good watch.
Yeah, never gets old.
it's not my favorite of the prequels. I like Attack of the Clones more. But
Really?
yeah, but um, I appreciate it. I really do. I thought they made some stuff in the movie which I would have cut out and not focus on. But it is good. It has some very awesome cinematic looking scenes. Just like at
Hmm.
the end when Obi-Wan's given Luke the to Peru and Owen, that sky, that purple looking sky behind Anakin.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, it's
Ah,
or Obi-Wan. It's just beautiful. And then you see the two moons and stuff like
kind
that.
of paying and
Wasn't
tribute to
this
the.
the one
Yeah.
when he goes attacks the younglings? Isn't that when you hear Liam Neeson go, Anakin, no?
No,
Or was
No,
or was
that
that
was
that
was
the one
Sand
before.
People.
that was the Sand People?
Sand People
Okay,
than the last one.
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you'd have went back and listened to our old podcast, our last
Yeah.
one, you would have
And you
heard
can
I
that.
think
too. Just search for it in our menu.
last
And I
time.
will say, I think our
listen
last,
to the podcast in order. So.
Yeah.
and I think our Attack of the Clone podcast it did really
It
well as
did
far
really
as
do.
views. So thank
Yeah,
you.
we're not reviewing that, okay? Anyway,
God, oh my God.
I think that's going to do it for this episode of Spitball Cinema. If you want to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at spitballcinema@gmail.com. Any questions, comments, complaints, anything?
Yeah, like and subscribe to our podcast. Share it with some friends. Just say, "Hey, you want some cool background noise while you're, cleaning or cooking dinner?"
Always love to hear people's when people get on there and talk about their reactions to different movies when they saw it in the theater the first time.
Yeah.
It's always one of those things that we really.
And if you want me to come back, say something.
Oh,
'cause
definitely, she'll be back.
Yeah,
Scott's kind of mean.
Yeah. Well,
See, he does not want me back, so I
Okay.
need y'all to
So-
save me.
That's
comes in
that's
it.
the only reason to bring you back.
She just
Continue to torment Scott.
running her mouth.
Wait, so did you see that? We all saw this in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I thought too. So
I still have all the action figures too from.
And
Sith.
didn't we just say we went with Halfin came
Oh,
over,
yeah,
then
that's
we
right,
all
okay.
went out and saw it.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's our
Thank you
wrap.
guys. Love you.
Okay.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Scott.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm Shane.
I'm David.
I'm Stacy.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Bye.
You have allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind until now you have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
Your new empire?
Don't make me kill you.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!